So are you thinking about making a move into Hampton, Virginia? Or is your job possibly relocating you into our area? Well, if so, I gotta believe you might be asking yourself, what are the things you're absolutely gonna love about living in Hampton, Virginia? But also, what are the things you're gonna hate about living in Hampton, Virginia? If that's what you're asking, you're in luck, as in this video, I'm gonna go over the good, the bad, the ugly of living in Hampton, Virginia, as I will give you 3 pros of living in Hampton, Virginia, but also 3 cons of living in Hampton, Virginia. And also, stick around to the end because I'm going to go over one of the most favorite things I absolutely love doing when I'm in Hampton, Virginia. And if you're like me, I think you'll like it too. So with that, let's just get into the video. Hi guys, my name is DJ Parker. I'm a member of the Life in Hampton Roads team. If this is your first time visiting our channel focuses on everything there is to know about living and life in Hampton Roads. If that's the type of content you're looking for, or after watching this video if you enjoy it, please make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Also, don't forget to tap that notification bell. That way you're notified anytime we drop new content about living and life in Hampton Roads. Our channel drops new content every week. Additionally, I want to let you know, my team and I, we're a team of realtors. We help people who are moving in and out of Hampton Roads. We absolutely love doing it. If you're thinking about making that move, please reach out to us via phone, text, email, however you want to get a hold of us. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Can't wait to hear from you as we really want to help you with all your moving needs in and out of Hampton Roads. So let's go ahead and get into my number 1 pro of living in Hampton, Virginia.
Oh, those are the new ones?
Yes!
So one thing about Hampton, Virginia is on the eastern and southern sides of the city, it is surrounded by the Chesapeake Bay. So one thing I really think you'll enjoy about living in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and it's my number 1 pro of living in Hampton, Virginia, would just have to be the beaches in Hampton, Virginia. We're gonna hop on my computer so I can show you a map of where some of the more popular beaches are within Hampton, Virginia. But honestly, it's not the ocean, it's the Chesapeake Bay, but you can have a great time with your family, especially if you have younger children, as the waves in the Chesapeake Bay are nothing compared to the ocean in size. So let's go ahead and hop on my computer and I'll show you some video of what the beaches look like, and I think you'll see why I make this my number 1 pro of living in Hampton, Virginia. Okay, here we're back on my computer. I've got Google Maps pulled up. This is just showing a map of all of Hampton Roads. You have the south side with Norfolk, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, and Suffolk. Then on the peninsula is where Hampton is located, along with Newport News, Poquoson, Yorktown, and then farther north you have Williamsburg. So as we're talking here about Hampton, I'm going to zoom in. As I mentioned about the beaches, this is all the Chesapeake Bay right here. So on the eastern and southern side of Hampton, you have the Chesapeake Bay, and that's where a lot of the beaches are located. Right here is the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, and that leads you from Norfolk into Hampton. And as you're almost to Hampton, if you look to the right, you'll actually see Fort Monroe State Park, and it's actually a national park. And one thing I'll tell you about Fort Monroe is at the park, at the monument area, there's not necessarily beaches, but there is a lot of cool places to walk along, trails along the water. But as far as beaches go, the first one I wanted to talk about is Fort Monroe. There are some smaller beaches along Fort Monroe, but the most popular beach would be the Buckrow Beach and Park. The cool thing about Buckrow Beach, it has a fishing pier. It also has a nether pier without which fishing is not allowed off of, but you can just kind of go and look out into the water. It's a great place to bring your family. Additionally, they have some pavilions. During the summertime, it does tend to get a little crowded, but during the summertime, there is some local vendors that come. Sometimes they play music along the beach. So it's a really nice beach to bring your family to. And as I mentioned, if you have small children, the great thing about Buckrow Beach is it's along the Chesapeake Bay. So compared to the Atlantic Ocean and say Virginia Beach, the waves in the Chesapeake Bay are much smaller to almost non-existent in the Chesapeake Bay if you're comparing it to the ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. So there's a lot of different beaches. Some of these are private houses along the water here. But as you go north of Buckrow Beach, another spot to check out would be the Grandview Nature Preserve. This is where Grandview Beach is located. The cool thing about this, as I mentioned, it's on a nature preserve. It's not near as crowded as Buckrow Beach, but it's still a really nice beach to go to. And as I mentioned, living in Hampton, Virginia, the number one pro to me would definitely be the beaches, as they do have some great beaches when you compare them to some of the other cities within Hampton Roads. Very comparable. Okay, so my number one con of living in Hampton, Virginia, it actually can be kind of attributed to any city within Hampton Roads, as it would be traffic. However, within Hampton, Virginia in particular, it would be the tunnel traffic. If you've gone anywhere around Hampton Roads, most likely you've gone through one of our tunnels. Hampton, Virginia, and Norfolk, Virginia have the worst tunnel in Hampton Roads, and that would be the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. Good news right now is they are currently working on it to expand it, adding an additional tunnel. However, that's not planned to be complete until late 2027 or 28, I believe, and that's if there's no delays. Like I said, if you've been anywhere through the city, you've been through tunnels. However, the traffic at the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel is horrendous. It honestly does not matter what time of day you go through the tunnel, you are going to hit traffic on either side. The side going from Norfolk to Hampton tends to be pretty rough in the morning. The side going from Hampton to Norfolk tends to be pretty rough in the afternoon. But as I said, it really doesn't matter what time of the day you go through, you're going to hit traffic. Real quick, I want to hop on my computer so I can show you where this bridge and tunnel is located. But as I said, if you've been anywhere around Hampton Roads, I'm pretty sure you've had to deal with the traffic of this tunnel. But let's go ahead and hop on my computer now. All right, we're back on Google Maps again. This is actually one of my favorite tools to kind of show you around Hampton Roads and the cities within Hampton Roads. So as I mentioned, we're looking at Hampton Roads right here. Some of the major bridges and tunnels within the city, within Hampton Roads. This long one you see here is the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. That actually connects Virginia Beach into the Eastern Shore. This tunnel here is actually a toll tunnel. I believe it's around $13 or $14. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could be more. But that gets you on the Eastern Shore heading north. But the tunnel we're going to talk about here today that affects Hampton is this one right here. This would be the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. As I mentioned, this is by far the worst tunnel we have in all of Hampton Roads when it comes to traffic, as it really does not matter what time of day you go through, you are going to hit traffic. And currently, they are working on expanding this tunnel and bridge. So even worse now is traffic while they're doing the construction. It's going to be a great thing, hopefully, when it's done. I doubt it's going to be big enough, but regardless, it'll be some positive news. But if you are driving anywhere around Hampton Roads or to get to Hampton or coming out of Hampton, you're going to have to deal with this Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. Or additionally, you have the Monitor Merrimack Tunnel here, which isn't as crowded, but it also has its challenges with traffic. So that's why my number one con of living in Hampton, Virginia would definitely have to be the dealing with the tunnel traffic. All right, so we're moving right along into my number 2 pro of living in Hampton, Virginia. But before we get into my number 2 pro, I want to let you know, if you think I'm missing anything, if you disagree with what I'm saying, or if you just have overall questions about living in Hampton, Virginia, or any city in Hampton Roads, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Also, if you're enjoying what the video is showing you, make sure you smash that like button. That way we can get this video out to as many people as possible. So my number 2 pro of living in Hampton, Virginia really has to do with the overall cost of everything currently going up. But the good news in Hampton, Virginia, the cost of housing in Hampton, Virginia is much cheaper when you compare it to other cities throughout Hampton Roads. You can find a good quality house within Hampton, Virginia, but not have to pay near as much as you would in some of the other cities like Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Suffolk, and Williamsburg, you name it, basically. There's only a very few cities in Hampton Roads that have less property values than Hampton, Virginia, as far as purchasing a house. What I want to do is show you This isn't my opinion. This information is actually coming from data from our local MLS, which is the Real Estate Information Network. I wanted to hop back on my computer so I can show you some of that data that I'm speaking to, and you can see for yourself where the cost of housing when you're looking to purchase a house in Hampton, Virginia, stacks up against the rest of the cities in Hampton Roads. So let's go ahead and hop back on my computer. Okay, we're back on my computer here. As I mentioned, I'm going to show you a chart that shows the median sale price throughout other cities within Hampton Roads and compares it to Hampton, Virginia. This information is coming from our Real Estate Information Network, which is our local MLS here in Hampton Roads. So this data is as of September. So throughout Hampton Roads, the median sale price is $305,000. Compared to the previous period, it was actually up 8.9%, as the prior period was around $280,000, the median sale price. Now, each one of these colors here represents a city and the median sales price. At the very top, you have Poquoson in September, median sales price of $400,000. Then you have York County, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, all right up at the top there. Down here at the bottom, you have Norfolk with $280,000, Newport News with $250,500. Then you have Hampton, which is the second lowest within Hampton Roads. The only one lower would be Portsmouth. Hampton is $245,000 for the median sales price as of September. And as you can see, looking at this chart here, it's not just this year, but historically, Hampton, it's that light gray on the bottom. Historically, houses in Hampton are a little bit cheaper than other cities within Hampton Roads. And as you know, everything in price is currently going up. So it's always great if you can find a good price for a house. And in Hampton, you can find a lot of decent houses at decent prices. So that's why my number 2 pro of living in Hampton, Virginia would be the price of housing. Okay, so I've given you 2 pros, I think, about living in Hampton, Virginia. That means it's time for me to give you my number 2 con of living in Hampton, Virginia. And unfortunately, my con would be the overall crime rate within Hampton, Virginia, when you compare it to other cities within Hampton Roads. Now, I'm not going to say this is coming from directly from me. I'm going to let you interpret the data. We're going to hop on my computer. We're going to visit a website called crimegrade.org. You can take a look at what the crime grade is that this website gives for Hampton, Virginia. Compare that to other cities within Hampton Roads. And I think you'll see that's why it's my number 2 con of living in Hampton, Virginia. So let's go ahead and hop back on my computer. All right, guys, we're back on my computer here. We're on the website crimegrade.org. This website gives the overall crime grade. When you see shades of green, that the darker shades of green are A+. Then you go into the brownish to yellow, that would be C. And then, unfortunately, if you see any red, that would be underperforming with the F score, as the majority of the crime is where the most people are. And that would be the downtown area in Hampton. As you can see here, though, as you move north, the less people, usually the less crime. The overall crime grade is a C. When you compare that to other cities within Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach was given an A. Chesapeake was given a B+. Norfolk was given a C+. Portsmouth performed a little worse than Hampton, was given a C-. Newport News also was given a C. Poquoson was given a B+, and Suffolk was given a B-. So as you can see, when you compare Hampton's crime grade score to other cities within Hampton Roads, whether you're on the peninsula or the south side, unfortunately, Hampton, according to crimegrade.org, does underperform a little bit compared to some of the other cities. So that is why this would be my number 2 con of living in Hampton, Virginia. All right, so we're moving right along. We've already gone over 2 pros and cons of living in Hampton, Virginia. I hope you like what you've seen so far. If you have, please, please, please smash that like button below. That way we can get this video out to as many people as possible. Additionally, if this is the type of content you're looking for, we publish it every week here on this channel, all about life in Hampton Roads. Please hit that subscribe button below, tap that notification bell. Last thing I want to say, I mentioned it earlier, but I am a realtor. My team and I, we are realtors who help people moving in and out of Hampton Roads. If you're thinking about making a move in and out of Hampton Roads, we want to help you. So please reach out to us, phone, text, email, however you want to get a hold of us. We're available 24 hours a day. let's go ahead and get into the number 3 pro and number 3 con of living in Hampton, Virginia. All right, so we're moving right along. I appreciate you sticking with me. We've already gone over the 2 pros and 2 cons of living in Hampton, Virginia. Let's go ahead and move into my 3rd pro of living in Hampton, Virginia. I got to tell you, I'm not sure this pro is going to be on everybody's list of living in Hampton, Virginia, but I kind of think it's a little underrated. My number 3 pro of living in Hampton, Virginia would just be all the things you're able to do living in the city and visiting in Hampton, Virginia. As I said, it doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. You have some great beaches in Hampton, Virginia. I know everybody wants to talk about Virginia Beach and Ocean View, and those are awesome beaches too. But I feel Hampton's beaches are very comparable there. Additionally, one of the biggest tourist locations within Hampton, Virginia would be the NASA Air and Space Museum. That's an awesome place to go, whether you have children or not. A lot of great, valuable information. It's honestly, give yourself some time to go there. Give yourself a couple hours because it is a nice museum with a lot of great information. Also, if you like sporting events, we have the Hampton Coliseum. Not only does it have occasional sporting events, it has concerts, different events there. Across the street is the Hampton Roads Convention Center. They have events there all the time, whether you have craft shows, train shows, coin shows, dance competition, all kinds of different things go on at the Hampton Roads Convention Center. Also, I want to mention, if you like sporting events again, Hampton is home of Hampton University. So if you like sporting events, they have a great football team. They have a really good basketball team. And they also have a good baseball and soccer and all the other different sports you might like. You're able to go out there and take a look at those. Additionally, if you're like me, I love fishing. Hampton, Virginia has some great fishing, whether you're fishing along the tunnel or just along one of the beaches at one of the fishing piers. I think that's a little underrated. Not a lot of people talk about a lot. And then there's also some, as I mentioned, the Grandview National Preserve, Natural Preserve, that is. There's a lot of different parks throughout the city. So as I mentioned, this to me isn't talked about a lot, but I do think there is a lot of things to do in the city of Hampton, Virginia. It is a little slower lifestyle in Hampton, Virginia, but there's a lot of awesome things you can do. And that's why that would be my number 3 pro of living in Hampton, Virginia. Okay, so we're at the end as I'm going over my 3rd con of living in Hampton, Virginia. Remember, at the end of this, I'm going to give a little bonus tip on one of my favorite things to do while visiting or living in Hampton, Virginia. But anyways, my number 3 con of living in Hampton, Virginia, unfortunately, would be the real estate property taxes. A lot of cities in Hampton Roads, in my opinion, have some higher property taxes than compared to, say, Virginia Beach or Chesapeake or Suffolk, and Hampton is one of them. So the real estate property tax in Hampton, Virginia is $1.18 per $100 of assessed value. To compare that to other cities within Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach is 99 cents per $100 of assessed value. Chesapeake, $1.05 per $100 of assessed value. Norfolk is a little higher than Hampton. It's actually $1.25. Norfolk is one of the higher ones throughout Hampton Roads. The highest in Hampton Roads would be the city of Portsmouth, where it's $1.30 per $100 of assessed value. Newport News, a little more than Hampton, $1.22 per $100 of assessed value. Poquoson, a little cheaper than Hampton, $1.13 for Poquoson. And then lastly, Suffolk is cheaper than Hampton, Virginia, $1.09. So as I mentioned earlier, the prices of housing in Hampton, Virginia are a lot less than other cities in Hampton Roads. However, the price you pay for real estate taxes tend to be a little higher than other cities within Hampton Roads. Okay, so I appreciate you sticking around to the end as I'm going to go over the thing I absolutely love about being in Hampton, Virginia. Personally, I don't live in Hampton, Virginia, but if I did, I can tell you I would be here all the time. I mentioned earlier how I really enjoy fishing. So one of the premier attractions, in my opinion, for Hampton, Virginia would be Bass Pro Shops. It's located in the power plant area of Hampton, Virginia. And again, as I mentioned, I absolutely love going there. If you're an outdoorsman like me, I think you will too. It's a large shopping complex full of outdoor things you would need for outdoor activities, from fishing, hunting, clothing, hiking. I mean, you name it, they have it there. Whether you want to buy a boat, an RV, an ATV. I can spend a ton of time here. As I mentioned, it's very large. I'm sure you've seen many different Bass Pro Shops throughout the country, but I really enjoy spending time in ours. So again, that's just a bonus tip for you. If you're going to be in Hampton, Virginia, make sure you check out the Bass Pro Shops. And honestly, if you like gambling too, right next door is Rosie's. Personally, I'm not very good at gambling, so I've actually never been inside Rosie's. But this is a casino that's in Hampton, Virginia. I believe it just has slot machines currently. So that's something to check out as well. So again, I hope you enjoyed my video of the top 3 pros and cons of living in Hampton, Virginia. I think the city of Hampton has a lot to offer, a lot of things to do. So make sure you check it out. If you like this video, hit that like button. Also, don't forget to tap the subscribe button. Tap that notification bell as well. That way you're notified anytime we drop new content about life in Hampton Roads. Last thing, again, I'm a realtor. My team's realtors. We help people who are moving in and out of Hampton Roads. We want to help you. So please reach out to us, phone, text, email. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I hope you have a great day. Until the next time, we'll see you then.